Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections ground me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive. Greetings and welcome to Golden Sessions with doc.PEACE. I'm doc.PEACE. We are on KNSJ 89.1 FM radio live, and I'm doc.PEACE, doctor of pharmacy by trade, spoken word artist at heart, and empowerment guru. Golden Sessions is a time for us to connect, to reset with doses of inspiration to empower confidence and foster global unity. Featuring golden STARlings from all over the world who are shining their light so bright to ignite our light and to remind us that together we thrive. Today we have DTO in the flow. DTO is an award-winning music producer designing inspirational music that raises the vibration of the planet. Welcome, DTO. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
Oh, you're so welcome. So I love your energy. And I just really want to learn more about you and what it is that makes you gold, what it is that makes you a genuine, original, loving dreamer. And how did you discover these golden attributes of yours?
Such a beautiful question. Like that movie, The Outsiders, Pony Boy, stay gold.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And I feel that there is a dharmic path that we all get to live in this lifetime. And for me, I've really felt that hair-raising goosebump in the flow state moment with music. And that has been my gold. They've done case studies on musicians where they can just flow and spontaneously vibe. And I know from our beautiful introduction collaboration that that's exactly what takes place. You get that synergy, and gold is alchemy. That metal itself is not alone, right? It's a part of the entire makeup of components that is a part of this planet, is part of this cosmos. And I feel like when we feel connected to that magnetic north and that true north, when we're on that path. And I feel those breadcrumbs for me in my life have been music, being classically trained on piano, playing the drums, playing the guitar, creating electronic music, and creating music that has a global message, as you said in your intro with me, raising the vibrations of the planet. And gold for me is achieving that. And it reminds me when I was a kid watching Olympic athletes achieve gold, and that's their passion. That's their flow state that they're in. That's their genius. And I feel like we all get to unlock and unravel what that is. And hopefully we all get to discover that in this lifetime. I think a lot of people go through life and they don't feel connected to what they're here to do. And I'm grateful that that was uncovered and revealed to me at a very early age. So thank you for that question.
Wow, yes, that is incredible. It sounds like you were raised in an environment that fostered creativity, and that's incredible. What a blessing. What advice would you give to those who were not raised in this environment that fostered their creativity? How would they go about finding their gold?
I recommend everyone, despite of what upbringing you have or haven't had based on whatever you feel is an ideal upbringing. I was brought up in the Midwest, and getting back to basics, being in nature, being with the rivers, the mountains, the forests. I feel that that's where your messages, let's call them your notifications, just like you get a text notification on your phone. I feel like those life cosmic messages and notifications come when you're still, when you're in nature. I personally love to trail run. I love that movement, that momentum, that adrenaline, the dopamines that's flowing through my system, and I'm connected to Mother Nature, La Madre Tierra, Pachamama, and you're getting that essence, that vibration of Earth herself alive, and then you get to feel alive and connected. So you get to have that like self responsibility. Like I get to recognize who I am, what's my purpose. And that's where it doesn't matter what parents you chose to have, what teachers you chose to have in school, what friends you have, coworkers, all of it. What matters, I feel, when you get to the heart of it all is, did you live a heart-led life that created an impact on the world? And if you don't know what that means, then I say go back to nature, back to basics, right? We're living organisms on this planet. We're mammals. We're part of the flora and fauna, and all of the chatter, the noise, you get to like escape that, leave that for a while. Be like, who am I? What am I? Why am I here? Like those are huge existential questions that a lot of people don't ever get to ask because you're in the, I got to work. I got to do this. I'm in the rat race. I'm in the matrix. I'm in the fear mongering. I'm in the do what society tells me to do besides actually do what I choose. And I think you've heard this before. They've interviewed people on their deathbeds, and the number one regret that people have is that they lived their lives for someone else that wasn't actually in alignment with what they knew in their heart of hearts could have and, you know, should have set forth on, right? Yeah. They took a different step and a different path. And so what I say is, why wait till your deathbed to have regrets? Don't regret anything. Just go for it and make it happen.
Yes, get it going. And, you know, that's such a good reminder to live for ourselves, to live our dreams, because if we're not living our dreams, we're living somebody else's, right? And I love what you said about really asking us that tough question, asking ourselves internally, are we doing something in our lives to make an imprint, to impress the world, not to impress the world per se, but to put our mark and to share our golden light with the world? Are we doing that? And if not, return to nature, return to Mother Earth, and really tap into that energy that comes from being in nature, to remind ourselves what we're capable of. So I love that. Thank you so much, Dave. I was going to call you by your name. Dave Kemp is DTO. So thank you so much, DTO, for reminding us to return
Dave, DTO.
to
I was
nature.
born David Glenn Kemp. Yeah, you're welcome.
David Glenn Kemp, now known as DTO in the Flow. So how did you become
Back
DTO?
to basics, right?
And what does DTO stand for?
Yo. Oh, I love that. You know, I love that question. And I feel like you and your listeners and viewers are ready for the answer, which is going back to what I was referring to of these existential questions. I had a massive light bulb moment, an aha moment that happened about 10 years ago. And it was really beautiful. I was doing a trail run above this mountaintop, and I actually messed up and I didn't bring water with me, so I felt dehydrated. And similar to anyone that's been in nature, and I know doc.PEACE, you love to run, so you know the feeling of running in the desert and sometimes getting thirsty.
Oh yeah,
I had this moment where all of a sudden this hawk flew above my head. Yeah, you know it. I love when you're rocking it and being in that flow state, so you completely understand how you can dive into this other layer of being connected to yourself, to nature, and to everything. And what had happened in that moment is all of a sudden I was like feeling almost lost and confused and what's going on, because I was so dehydrated and I was hot. And so this hawk flies over my head, and the moment that happened, there's a snake on the ground, and then this bee buzzed right in front of my face. It was like the most bizarre, like, orchestrated moment where nature all came together to send a message. It's almost like the Mexican flag, that it has, you know, an eagle with a snake on top of a cactus, you know. It's like this whole like very natural but also almost unnatural thing to witness. It's not like your daily life that you're simply just driving down the freeway and living your humdrum life, in a sense, right? You get in that routine. This was, as I'll call it, a pattern interruption, where all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, the hawk, the bird. And I was like, and I looked out and I just saw everything in that moment. It was like I saw nature. I felt like I wasn't a part of nature, that I was like integrated within every cellular tissue and molecule. And in that moment, I was clear that, wow, I'm one of many living creatures on this planet. And sometimes we get in our own world. So I said to myself, I'm an organism, just like the planet is an organism, right? Like nature. And at that moment, I started telling all my friends, hey, we're all like organisms. It was almost like this epiphany, this light bulb. But you know, it's really simple. It's like telling your friend, like, hey, we're breathing air. Okay, we're breathing air. Good for you. But when I kept on repeating it, it was like this big epiphany for me. People start saying, hey, you're Dave the organism. You're Dave the organism. So Dave the organism becomes DTO. So that's the whole origin story of DTO. So that's where it came from. Yeah, and it's that self-awareness that we are a living organisms. And as you know, in this physical life form, it's a blink of an eye. By the time we know it, who knows what's next? Could have another lifetime and go back to wherever, or go forward to something else. But in this brief moment and glimpse in human history, and this is what we are. That's what we came to be. And right now I'm in Costa Rica, and of course there's iguanas, and there's scorpions, and there's monkeys in the trees, and there's crocodiles, and there's like all this nature around me at all times. And I don't know if you can hear, but there's nature in the background. There's always a sound of being in the rainforest. And when you see a toucan, or you see like this, you're like, yeah, I'm just one of many millions of mammals on this planet, or organisms. So that to me was really important. Then later on in life, when I started creating music for yoga, it happened kind of like that moment where everything just synergized. I was playing music for a class, and someone came out of the class and said, oh, I bet DTO stands for down to Om, because I just had the best Shavasana ever. And if anyone doesn't know, Shavasana is that last pose in yoga when you're just lying down.
The best.
It's called corpse pose, where you're just like bliss. You're surrendering, right? Like, So he said, I bet you means down to Om. I was like, for you, if it means down to Om, it's down to Om. Great. And then like right after that, another participant of that class came out and said the same thing, like right next, back to back, said, and like, is it down to Om? So I also go by down to Om in like the yoga world, because it's, are you ready to, and what that means truly is like, a lot of people that are Westerners didn't grow up oming. And of course, from India, we have this 5,000-year-old ancient practice of yoga. So I feel like when the East and the Western energies synergize, it really generates this new possibility for us to live our lives. So that's the origin story of Down to Om.
That is incredible.
And Dave the organism.
And I love DTO. I love that you like incorporated all of that into your name, DTO, nameless energy in the flow. And I think that's such a great reminder to breathe. This moment in time only arises but once in this life. So it's important to enjoy those moments that come in our lives and realize that we need to integrate, be part of that, own our organism, and not just live in a comfort zone, but actually take those moments, that moment that you discovered DTO, and embrace those moments in life that kind of snap us out of of just bring us back to who we are as a person. And I just I'm very grateful that you're here. We are going to take a short break. You are listening to Golden Sessions with Doc.PEACE featuring DTO in the flow. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back, so stay tuned. Let's do it. And we're back. You're listening to Golden Sessions with Doc.PEACE on KNSJ 89.1 FM. I'm Doc.PEACE and we're here with DTO in the flow. So let's get back into it. DTO, we were just talking about how you discovered your name, DTO, and the origins. How do you Can you share with us more ways in which you share your golden attributes? You touched on your yoga practice and your the music that you share with your yoga community. Can you share with us more on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. Yeah. So what I've witnessed is when I've been able to play the piano since a child, I've gotten into what they call the flow state. And when you're there, you're surrendering, you're releasing, you're allowing. And a lot of us are controllers and we want to hold things tight and we want to manipulate things, truly like the definition of Spanish, or las manos, like you're holding something, like manipulate with your hands, you're steering. Even the word to drive in Spanish is manejar, from las manos. So a lot of people wanting to have super control, and what 2020 taught all of us on the planet is all those plans. Yeah, good luck with those. So John Lennon famously said, life is what happens while you're making plans. And so when we have a set way of believing how something needs to look, we've already made an error of judgment. When we get fixated on the how, right? Here's like a 7-step plan, and this is exactly how I'm going to do this thing. Well, when you want to achieve that golden attribute, to have it fulfilled, as they say, it takes 10,000 hours to become a master at something. Like if you're going to achieve that, if you're going to sculpt that, if you're going to paint that, if you're going to sing that, if you're going to produce and create and allow and lead that movement, then your actions to stay in motion matter. And music is as much rhythm as it is frequency and sound design. Just like the 7 chakras, you're going upward with the frequency and downward with the frequency. And then the rhythm is more like left to right, where you're right? You're doing that rhythm. And that allows for there to be a center, right? There's a XY vortex, just like latitude, longitude. So I feel that a daily check-in for me personally, to make me feel as though I'm this starling filled with gold and abundance and having a heart of gold, is when I'm recognizing, did I move my body today? Did I create motion in a musical project that could inspire someone to take a yoga class or get on their mat, meditate, do breath work, move their bodies with some of my songs, just like Mumbai Moves, that's used for your intro, right? Like, how do you create those different possibilities? And for each of us out there, I mean, I trust that a lot of people out there are not musicians, but they love music, and you can get the concept that I'm explaining. And there's something within your soul that is to be expressed. And one of the things that hold us back is feeling stuck in something, like, oh, I can't do this. If I were to do this, then it would look this way. The how. To me, it's more about what are you doing? So what is possible I even have a little saying I put, I feel better when I move my organism. That's what I write. I mean, bottom line, it's just like, get your butt out of bed and go run in the morning. That's basically what it's saying. But for some reason, that vocabulary for me doesn't necessarily, sometimes it works, right? But a lot of times it's like, I can just declare, I feel better, I feel alive when I move my organism, when I move my body, when I'm out there. And the same thing is, I feel alive, I feel purposeful, I feel like I'm creating an impact on my own heart chakra, and my own pathway is actually unfolding when I am dedicated to creating a musical project. Because you never know, just like our collaboration, doc.PEACE, because the song was created, then the next step is the left foot and then the right foot and then the left foot and the right foot. Just like when you're running, you're in motion, you're creating, you're making things happen, and you get that momentum, you get that rhythm. And for a lot of people, when you're like, oh, well, this happened, I'm stuck there. And yeah, it's our gold, I feel, our possibility of expansion is sometimes, how people like gold is when it's been with fire, right? Like, how do you make a gold ring or gold jewelry? You have to have some like fire. So what's the fire that you're putting into your daily routine that's getting you like completely lit up to do something that you may not have done in the past? And so that's what I invite everyone to do, is to, it might be something creative. It might be, just being still 5 minutes a day. Give yourself like some time to breathe and reflect and create like that level of awareness. Design your life. I think that's another thing. Like, life isn't happening to you. Life happens for you. It's for us to enjoy. It's for us to play. It's for us to create. And doc.PEACE, when I heard you at a Daybreaker event, you were on stage and you were doing your extraordinary spoken word, you were in your element, right? And then the impact you created for the audience was this amazing container of love and self-expression. And so many people just felt connected as a human community. And so when you can generate that by being that seed of inspiration, it's just like, oh yeah, I remember. I was so worried in my to-do list and all these other things. I get to remember. And you also get to forgive yourself if you forget. I think that's the biggest life hack I would say to everyone, right? If you forget something, you forget your greatness, you forget how powerful you are. We are having these human experiences as these spiritual beings. Yes. A lot of times we beat ourselves up. We measure ourselves against other people. And it's like, no, that person's living their life. I'm living my life. And again, I'm in this shell, this body, this temple. You get to be you. I get to be me. And I think that was from episode 1 when you interviewed the amazing singer from In Vogue, right? She was saying, like, you do you.
Bennett. Yes.
Yeah, that was one of her takeaways from your interview. I watch everything you do, so I got a whole catalog.
And you, DTO, I adore you. And yeah, I completely agree. We're on our individual, unique life roads. So it's no point in comparing each other to others, because we're on our own life roads. And I love what you said about really kind of, it's all about reminding ourselves to come back to who we are as a person. So taking that time, and I love that note that you had placed that said, I feel better. I feel more alive when I'm moving my body. Not just running, not walking, not hula hooping, whatever you do, just move your body. Like, just move it. Just move your body. And I love that. And you keep alluding to this intro song, and I want to just clarify that it's incredible. DTO and I did a collab song, which is actually the intro song of this radio show. And so DTO produced it and I did the flow. And that's just another example of how when you begin to shine your light, others see that. And so DTO had seen me perform at Daybreaker and came up and was like, let's do a collab song together. And so it's just another reminder that when we shine our light, others who are shining theirs, the light attracts light. And you can do such incredible things together when you work together. So thank you, DTO, for shining your light. How can we connect with you further?
First of all, to that, I want to say that my love language is collaboration. And so me requesting that we collaborate, that like lights me up. And I know it lights you up as well. And it's a great segue into your
Together we
question,
thrive.
which is how people can connect. Together we thrive. Absolutely. Let's make that a hashtag.
It is hashtag
Right?
together we thrive, because it's true. We can do so much, so much more when we work together.
Absolutely. And that distinction of, are you here to survive? Or are you here to thrive? And, when you're going at it alone, which we all have, I'm guilty as charged. I've definitely been a lone wolf. I think I can do everything. And minutes before I jumped on this interview with you, I had this extraordinary graphic artist send me the artwork for this new song, Flight, that's launching in the new moon in February here. And so I'm like, wow, yeah, I get to have team. I get to collaborate, and I contact people, and they feel amazing because I see and admire who they are and what their genius is. And it is that together we thrive. It's, teamwork makes the dream work. And that's where I think the older, I've gotten, or more wise or experienced, whatever you want to call it, we get to fall, you get to stand back up, right? You fall down 7 times, get back an 8th time. And so when I connect with people, so whoever's listening or watching this, however you feel, there's a possibility for us to create, connect, and support each other. That's what it comes down to, is having music be the support to this introduction to this extraordinary show that you have here, and how that can then have your spoken word that then creates a whole other energetic field. And I will acknowledge Songs of Eden. He's from Sweden, and he and I collaborated on Mumbai Moves. He's amazing. And so it's that international global connectivity. And so anyone out there that would love to connect, my website's dtomusic.com, and all the socials is DTO Music. And what's wonderful is getting, messages from people that actually, I was just listening to this gentleman's set. I found him on SoundCloud, and we have a meeting after this interview today. And he's like, hey, let's do a collab. I'm like, perfect. There doesn't need to be so much distance. And I feel like now more than ever in the world, I think the theme is, I feel alone.
Yes.
Right? And what's the title to your piece that you did? Solo but not alone.
Solo but not alone.
And so how can we shift into knowing that, yeah, we're all our sovereign individual beings, but we're also, from that micro scale, we have our microorganisms within us, and we have this whole biology and skeletal system structures within, nervous system, vascular system. This is amazing, these vehicles that we get to be commanders of as we're cruising around Earth. And we get to say, wow, there's more of us. And we all have these talents. And I know your roots are in Nigeria, right? And it's so awesome that you're here, able to shine your light and bring that. And I always love the stories you share, how your mom is, and how she's just so wonderful of her generation, her culture. And then you get to be a hybrid of knowing culture in the United States. And of course, I'm now living in Costa Rica, and I've been a Spanish teacher for many years. And so we get to embody and live and have empathy and awareness and celebrate all people. And that's where I really clear that the distance is getting shorter and shorter when we can choose to stay connected. And I feel like your radio show is an amazing platform for people to come together and to share who they are in the world. And as you're requesting, what are some little nuggets, what are these gold little pieces of advice that people can share with others to just plant a seed in their consciousness where they're whoa, okay, if I put some sunshine and water and whoa, anything's possible. That acorn becomes an oak tree. How does your mind even come up with that?
Water the seed with positivity, and it'll blossom to that vision that you foresee. But it really just starts in that mindset. So yes, thank you so much, DTO, for being here, for providing those seeds, for sharing your golden light with us. What an incredible experience sharing this energy with you.
You're welcome. So grateful. And I feel every time you interview me, or every time we're connected, there's always just such amazing vibes and buena onda. Todo bien.
I love it. I love it. Oh, you're listening to Golden Sessions with doc.PEACE on KNSJ 89.1 FM. That concludes today's session with DTO, Dave Kemp, DTO in the flow. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, you are gold. You are gold, and we all are. So cheers to that gold within, that which we know of and that which is yet to be discovered. Together we thrive. Shine on. I'm doc.PEACE. Keep shining.
Let's do it. Are you my friend? I'll admit, I'm confused. I used to friend request and now I follow. Am I in this alone? I once thought that birds flew solo, each bird on its own, just feathers and bone, relying alone on their wings to soar. Now I see that even though they move independently, they are part of something much greater than what they could be individually. And like a bird, I may sing to my own music and dance to my own drum, but connections round me, reminding me that I am not alone. My purpose is greater than me, myself, or I. I once believed that whether or not I chose to use my gifts was my prerogative. But does bearing my talents to you or I any good? Pardon my mind delay. Sometimes I may need to remind my mind what it's capable of. Jog myself from doubt to a confident state. See, I am not alone, my friend. And neither are you. I see you. We are in this flock together for the better, and together we thrive. Together we thrive.